In Toronto right now, they've got a number one D-man in Morgan Riley, who, frankly hasn't looked like himself since he's come back from injury. Just wanted to get a sense from you. I'm sure you had stretches of your career where you didn't play at your best and knew there's a lot of pressure and you're supposed to be the guy. Is there something you can do to play your way out of that? Or is it just you're a good player, you play enough games, you'll find the confidence naturally?
It'll come back. I think sometimes when you come back and you're not 100%, as most guys are not, you come back, they play injured. As guys used to say, you at 50% is better than the next guy that's going to be playing.
Right.
So, you got to look at that, and you take it with a grain of salt, but they're probably true. And so, he's working his way back in. He's trying to gain confidence in his play. He's trying to gain confidence in the injury and where his health is at. And it takes a bit of time. Everybody's different. You don't just turn the page and poof, you're all good. There could be hesitation in certain aspects of his game. And sometimes it's a matter of the layoff and then getting reacclimated and getting comfortable and getting your rhythm back. A lot of times you don't get a ton of practice time, and these guys don't practice at all anyways. So you're not really getting that practice time to get up to speed and get comfortable and do all the things that typically we used to do to get ready to play. You're skating by yourself or with a couple of other guys that are healthy scratches, trying to work your way back in. And, that's just not the same simulation as a hard, practice before a game or what have you. And these guys don't really practice that much anymore.
And not to compare Morgan Riley to your game in any way, but you also had the game to put up 50 or 60 points and maybe 15 goals. And there was, I'm sure, a little pressure of you to provide some offense. But when you did struggle at times, whether it was offense or defense, did you catch yourself saying, okay, now then I'm just going to focus on this one thing? Or does it all kind of come back together and you can feel comfortable about your whole game when all aspects of your game aren't running well? Where did you go first to correct it?
No, I always reverted back to how I defended, how I played the game defensively first, and then as you get comfortable defending and how you defend, I typically you get tired or you get a little wore out, you tend to lean forward and you're lunging a little bit more so than being mobile and agile back there. For me personally, and as I readjusted how I defended, then the comfort level in defending and having access to loose pucks and things of that nature, you move them quickly, you get into transition, now you're moving up in the attack. Everything flows from defense, and as you feel more comfortable defensively, you'll then flow into the transition game, which then flows in the offensive game, and you'll be able to push pucks and especially him using his feet with the type of skater he is. He'll be able to get in on the attack, provide fourth, fifth man support, sometimes lead the rush, but also from the defensive standpoint, using his legs to defend, create breakout opportunities in the transition game and things like that. And as he feels more comfortable game in, game out, and that all starts to come together, the defensive side for me would kickstart the offensive side, and then you feel more comfortable with the puck because you're creating turnovers and you got to do something with them, and slowly every facet of your game comes back together.
Prongs, I don't know if you know this, but Kipper's a journalist. He has a column in the Toronto Star once a week. Here he does.
Prongs, I can do it all, right?
he's a Renaissance man up here.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, and so today's column, he wrote about the Leafs and finding a little toughness lately. They've, a couple of the guys you don't think of as heavyweights have gotten involved in some skirmishes, sticking up for one another. And I wanted to get your thoughts on if, you can, I don't want to say bluff, but if you can play that way when it's not intrinsic to you. Is it possible for the Leafs to have that element, even though it's not just a natural element of some of these guys' game?
Well, I think from a toughness perspective, I think you can look at it more so this way, that they're bonding together, they're creating chemistry and another storyline for them to talk about within their room to bring them closer together so that come playoff time, they're willing to, dive in front of a puck face first to block a shot, to save a game and win a hockey game. They're able to, they're able to then rely on one another to protect each other and be, when you're on winning teams and you're able to win a championship, there's a bond amongst the team and the coaching staff and management. You're all pushing towards the same goal. You're all in the same fight together, and you really mesh. And when you see somebody out of the norm stick up for somebody or stand up to somebody that they don't like, something happened, and on and on, it can galvanize the locker room. And, whether it's somebody that doesn't traditionally drop the gloves or play a physical brand, what have you, I think when you look at the Tampa Bay Lightning and the mold that they've created within the NHL, they're not an overly tough team per se vis-a-vis fighting, but they're a tough team to play against because each and every one of those players plays hard on the puck, and they compete for every puck, and they use their bodies to separate the man from the puck, and they dig. That's tough hockey, and you're going to have tough teams that might be able to beat you up, but they can't necessarily beat you in a puck battle. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the way this game has trended, that's what matters the most. However, having said that, it is nice to know that your teammates have your back. It is nice to know that your teammates are willing to stick up for you and show some grit and determination to bring the group together when situations arise.
And who doesn't like that feeling? And it's not even a sport thing. It's, hey, go to work, go into an office, go anywhere in this world knowing that someone has your back, and that changes everything, the way you feel about them. And if your common goal together is to win a game or work well and create revenue in your office, it's all the same.